Hey everybody, what is going on? My name is Eric McGrew and today I'm back with more tools your tree service company should have. Today we're going to talk about a tool that I bought from Stihl. Now there is a Husky version of this and I haven't used the Husky version, so I can't say you should or should not buy that one. I use Stihl around here not because I'm a super huge Stihl fanboy, but because the reality of it is that there are more dealers and service shops for Stihl in the area than there are Husky. That's the only reason. I have had Huskies, I've run Huskies, I like them. They're not bad saws. Each one has its pros and cons, right? So today we're gonna talk about this right here. This is the Stihl KM131R, and this is part of what they call the Kombi. That's K-O-M-B-I, the Kombi setup. And this is just the power head. So it's like a weed eater, right? That's split in the center shaft and it's got a adapter shaft right in there. And you can put different attachments on this thing. So here I have, oh, just split my fingernail. I have the paddle wheels. And this head here goes on the end. Just slips on there. It's not the lightest thing in the world. It's definitely not the heaviest though either. And you just got to kind of mate it up a little bit, make sure that it's down almost to that red line, tighten this up, and there you go. Now this thing is ready to run. Now this is not the lightest thing that you're going to run, but I tell you what, the efficiencies of this thing is amazing. I originally bought the wire brush wheels for this, and I've got to be honest, I didn't really like them. So I actually went to the Stihl dealer and I bought just the paddle wheels, not the wire wheel, not the whole unit. Because you can just easily replace these as they wear out by removing these pins on the side. And then you pull these off and then you can put new ones on. And I tell you, these things clean up street, so they clean up asphalt, they clean up yards, they clean up everything super quick, and they're super efficient. Now, that's not to say you won't have to do any raking after you're done. You might still have to do some raking, but these things will definitely make you some money. They save your energy, they save your time, and this thing does leave a pretty pristine result after you're done, especially if you learn how to use it. So smaller, thinner stuff you can go pretty quick with, and as it gets built up and it's a little denser, you have to slow down and let the wheels spin more times per inch to push it forward. And it will work your lower back, your abdomen, and your arms a little bit, but it's way faster than trying to rake up these big areas. This is also great if you live in areas like I do where there's a lot of gravel, because we're out in western Colorado and a lot of people have what they call xeriscape yards. Gravel gets drug onto driveways and different things like that, and the blower won't always blow it off because sometimes they're using river rock that's kind of big, 3/4 or 1 inch, and it's a little heavy for the blower to move, but this thing quickly takes that off. And if you are in a muddy area and you drag mud onto the driveway and you want to really leave the driveway and the road in front of the house of your client clean, this thing will do a great job, whereas the blower typically won't get the caked on or dried up mud off. This will. This is also amazing for some moderate to light duty snow removal. I really enjoyed this piece of equipment. It's probably my favorite so far. Now, I do also have a saw head for this to make it a pole saw, and I have a bar extension, so I can add in, I think it's a 30-inch or a 36-inch extension to make this that much longer. I think it's a total reach of 12 foot or something like that. I don't exactly remember how long it is. Maybe it's 9 foot or something like that with the extension in it. And that works really well for branches if you don't want to have to like climb just to get one branch off or something like that. And it's really handy. The only problem I've really had with this at all is that the chainsaw chain for the pole saw portion seems to be a bit difficult to get hold of at times. And then they try to make some out of their own stock, and sometimes they're almost too perfect in size when you install them. And since there's no real adjustment for the bar to move that far, once the chain stretches, then you're kind of stuck with a loose chain. Also, the oilers, like all pole saw, gas-powered pole saws and electric pole saws, the oiler is not super great, and you run into an issue of the cap popping off sometimes, or the reservoir getting broke. If you leave it out in the sun, it dries, and not super awesome in that sense. But other than that, oh, they go through oil really fast. So overall, the system's worth having. The individual components are up to you. I have a disc cutter head for small brush and like volunteers and things that come up that are tiny, and I don't want to try to use my saw so I don't throw a chain. I also have a hedger for like lilacs and stuff that sometimes I'm called out to do, and some of the other bushes that I do, depending on the age of the bush and what it is and things like that. And of course I have this paddle system, and there are others you can buy as well. So this right here, huge benefit to owning it. I want to say the whole system for me, everything was like $1,300 with the 3 or 4 heads that I have, and the power head. Of course, if you only buy one attachment, it's cheaper, right? So is it worth it? To me, it is. I have found that it's super sturdy, it's well built, it runs great, and it makes really fast work of a lot of work that I'd have to be sitting there, or my guys that had to be sitting there raking and just wasting time. So really like it. Hope that's helpful for you guys. I definitely think that you guys should have this on your trucks for your tree crews to be more efficient. Totally worth the investment.